Oh, this music lives rent-free in my head. Madison Square Garden is going to be an absolute madhouse tonight as the Knicks host Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Cavs. After losing to the Pacers in the conference finals last year, the Knicks are still looking for their first finals appearance since 1999, while the Cavs trying to make their first NBA Finals without LeBron James on the roster. The Cavs and Knicks have taken different paths en route to meeting in the Eastern Conference Finals. New York has lost just 2 games this postseason and has a plus 19.4 points per game differential, the best in a 10-game span in NBA playoff history. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Cavs have gone to Game 7 in each series they've played in the postseason. So the question is, who needs to show up tonight at the Garden in order for this to be a Game 1 for the ages? Stephen A.?
Well, it's 2 people that come to my mind. I know I'm supposed to give 1, but I'm going to give 2 only because 1 is involving injury. I need to see OG Anunoby healthy. After being out with the, in the Sixers series with the hamstring injury and whatever the last few games, I want to see him back healthy. The fact that he's gotten this rest, that they got this break because they swept the Sixers and Cleveland and Detroit win 7 games, I think it's incredibly important that this guy is in the flow. Remember, he was shooting better than 60% from the field and better than 50% from three-point range, averaging over 20 when he went down in the playoffs. So we have to understand his importance. Strictly in regards to their performance, more so than anything else, I'm going to say the name Mikal Bridges again. I'm going to say again, yes, Wilbon, you're absolutely right. It ain't his fault that all them damn draft picks were given up for him. It ain't his fault. I got it. But damn it, they were giving up. Okay? And this is the Knicks. This is the Knicks situation. And it's going to stay this way for the foreseeable future because they gave up all of these assets. He has to justify it. And he doesn't have to do anything more than he's been doing over the last few games in these playoffs since they blew out Atlanta by 50 in the first half of the closeout Game 6. So he's been flowing ever since. Keep that up is all I'm trying to say. Mikal Bridges has to be that guy because we know Donovan Mitchell might get loose. Who knows what James Harden's going to do? Who knows what Allen and Mobley are going to do? But I'm going to say the name that comes to my mind is Mikal Bridges. If OG Anunoby is healthy and Mikal Bridges is balling, the New York Knicks are easily going to win this series.
I'll give you 1 from each team. I'm going to say for the New York Knicks, that has to be Karl Anthony Towns. Last series, we seen him basically play with a handicap when we're talking about Joel Embiid. You got the sag off him on defense, therefore it helped you out defensively when you're seeing screens coming, people cutting through, etc., because he was hobbled on defense. Not just that, offensively, when they were, we'll call him point center cat, had the ball in his hands. When he got the drive, defense also collapsed on him, so you were able to find open shots from Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, and where the Knicks just shot lights out, 57% from three-point land. And that was the key to that. You're a bit handicapped because of Joel Embiid. Are you going to do that against Evan Mobley? We'll see that. And on the other side of the ball, I'll say, has to be Jarrett Allen. He had 2 great, sensational Game 7s in this playoff so far. But I remember him a couple years ago, and your guy Wendy actually brought it up, how he got smoked by Mitchell Robinson. And he said the lights were too bright for him. And that was 3 years ago. The lights are going to be brighter than 3 years ago. And you've been playing exceptionally well this series. You're going to have to step up this year for the Cleveland Cavaliers to have a chance.
I don't disagree with any of those. Those are key people. And more than one person has to show up big in any playoff game, particularly a conference finals playoff game. I'll stick with Cleveland for a second. And it's going to be Donovan Mitchell. Look, Donovan Mitchell's capable of 50-point games in the playoffs. We know that. He doesn't have to have that tonight. I'm not suggesting he needs to be some great soloist. But here's what it does if Donovan Mitchell is assertive and productive early. It takes a lot of the pressure off James Harden. Stephen A., you and I particularly have spent a lot of years chronicling and having to be critical in the playoffs, particularly as mid-May turns to late May, of James Harden and what he hasn't done. But what James Harden can do, particularly if Donovan Mitchell's taking the pressure off him scoring, James Harden can just go to facilitation mode. He can do that and have 10, 11, 12 assists and be incredibly effective. This is not a situation where James Harden has to be what he was in Houston and has to come out and have a 35-point, 15 assist game. No, he doesn't need to do that. But in order to sort of settle into that role, you need Donovan Mitchell scoring a lot in this game. And it also, Mobley and Allen can then follow suit. Somebody's got to set the tone for Cleveland. Mobley and Allen, you can't have any 3.2 assist, 2 rebound games out of them. They need bigger games. We saw that late in the Toronto series. We saw it late in the Detroit series. They can't wait till late. Otherwise, there won't be a late in the Knicks series if they don't get started, and preferably tonight.
I'll say this about Harden. Harden, 29-6 against the Knicks in his career. So he's had some success against this team. It was not a factor in Game 7, Harden. It didn't matter. They won the game. They didn't necessarily need him for him not having a great showing. It matters tonight now in this game, in this series, to set the tone. Also, the OG Anunoby point, Stephen A., that you made, he is probable, according to NBA's injury report.
He's playing.
So I would assume he will likely play and feel good. And you know what?
He's had 3 weeks. He's had about 3 weeks off. Yeah,
that's right. And like
time.
LeBron always said, you're playing and you're good to go. You better be.
On SportsCenter. And Michael, you've covered this league for a very long time now. Wemby last night, 41 points, 24 rebounds, and 3 blocks. How would you put into perspective what we all watched last night on the floor?
I mean, it was historic. I mean, did you see the way Wemby's teammates were looking at him late in that game? That was late in the overtime, and I remember that. I remember his teammates looking at him because they were in awe. I mean, so many times, teammates will say, oh, I see this in practice every day, so no, I'm not. No. They were in awe, so you know that Oklahoma City was in awe because they were on the wrong end of this. And yes, you're right. I've been covering the NBA playoffs for a very long time. Just means I'm old. But yes, it means sitting at courtside for 45 years of performances. And this ranks with the best of them. It ranks with things that we've seen from Shaquille O'Neal, who had 24 rebounds in a game once in his playoff career. Things that Akeem Olajuwon did. I don't have to just confine it to big men. I mentioned those guys first. Things that Kareem did. But also things we've seen from Kobe. And yes, Michael Jordan and Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. This is up there in the way he dominated the game with LeBron. It was both ends of the court, and there was genius written all over the performance. There was fire and rage in the performance. It was art. It was that level of basketball, and it was game 1. Now, I don't know what's going to happen when you only give 48 hours of rest to come back from this. And I don't know what Wemby's going to look like. He talked about adrenaline carrying him through that moment he was speaking, and we'll see what happens tomorrow night. But, for people who went to bed last night, too bad, shame on you. Next time, get a nap, set a clock, get a, favorite pick-me-up, some Red Bull, whatever it is. If you want to watch greatness now, it comes in that package, Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, everyone in total amazement last night about what Wemby did out there on the floor. And you just mentioned Wemby was a massive factor on both ends of the floor. So take a listen to this, what OKC's Jalen Williams had to say after the game.
How much does the specter of Wembanyama standing in there protecting the rim flash through your mind with every decision you make on what to do with the ball when you've got it?
A lot. He's like 8 feet.
Jalen Williams, very candid there at the podium. He's like, look, this man's like 8 feet. You got to consider everything when you're getting to the hoop. Michael, what did you think about Jalen Williams' comments right there?
He's seeing what we're seeing, except that we're not on the court. I mean, we're seeing it. We're in awe as just folk. Here's an all-NBA player who owns a championship ring. And he's looking at this going, what am I supposed to do with this dude? And that's really the reaction. And it's not about X's and O's. It's not about numbers. It's not about analytics. It's not even about positioning. This can't be choreographed. You're looking at a person who can go up and late in that game, I think it was the first overtime, he blocked the SGA jump shot on the baseline. So yes, every decision, every action, reaction that you make or that you consider has to then be trumped by, can I get past this dude?
Yeah.
And that's what people have said only about the greatest players of any height, because they were getting past them in different ways. But in this instance with Wembanyama, it's literal and figurative. How can I get what I want to do beyond him?
he's an obstacle in every possession of this game at both ends of the floor.
Yeah, Wemby having everyone think twice about taking their shots. Michael Wilbon with us. We'll also preview the East coming up in just a bit. Thanks so much.